Sorry, dear students, because of the some problem in the video, I could not complete. So I'm continuing the same sexual reproduction in my this video. Here I was explaining about the male and female, about the flower. Flower, you are having different parts. You are having the petal, the colored part, petal, which is also known as corolla. The sepal, the green part, is sepal, which is also known as calyx. And inside this, you are having the reproductive organ. The male reproductive organ is composed of style and anther. Filament and anther, and filament and anther together called stamen or androecium. And in filament and anther, top of the anther you are having the top of the filament you are having the anthers, and in anther this is the pocket. Inside that you are having pollen grains, the male gametes. And here in female part you are having the which is known as pistil or gynoecium. It is having composed of style, stigma, ovary and ovule. Altogether you are calling it pistil or gynoecium. So depending upon the presence of male and female reproductive parts, there are different types of flowers in the plants. You see, a flower is usually consists of sepals, petals, or their modified form in different crops, different plants, species. The stamen, the pistil, or stamen pistil, both. So if your flower is having both stamen and pistil, this is known as hermaphrodite, bisexual, which is also known as bisexual or perfect flower. The hermaphrodite flower, bisexual, or you can say perfect flower, which is having both the parts, the male and female, both the parts are there inside the single flower. That flower is known as hermaphrodite flower. If your flower is having unisexual, the single reproductive organ, the male, then that flower is called staminate flower. If your unisexual flower is having the female reproductive part only, then it is known as pistillate flower. And now you see the status of these flowers. The monoecious species means when staminate and pistillate unisexual flowers occur on the same plant, the case is known as monoecious, as in case of maize, castor, coconut, colocasia, etc. Means in monoecious species, a single plant is having both the unisexual flowers on different portions. Say for example, you must have seen the maize. So if you see the maize, you have seen the maize. If you see that the upper portion, you are having the male part, the staminate flower. You call it staminate. Yeah. The upper portion, we call it, the inflorescence is called as tassel in case of maize, which is having the male flowers. And in the middle of the plant, you are having the female flowers. The cob, inside cob, you are having the pistillate flower. And in pistillate, you know that there is style and stigma. So what is the stigma? You see in cob, you see hundreds and hundreds silk like threads coming outside. That is style, and at the tip of the style you are having the stigma. So this is the female flowers inside the cob. So that is pistillate flower in the middle of the maize, and staminate flower at the top of the plant of maize. So this is the situation of monoecious species, monoecious plant. which is having monoecious flower. There are the cases, dioecious species, the plant which is having male and female flowers on different plants. You must have seen papaya. You see, you must have seen papaya. In papaya, you see male plant is different, female plant is different, and if you are growing the plants, you are earlier you are not understanding whether it is male or female. So you are, if at the time of flowering, you by seeing the flower you are understanding these are the female. So you need the female which will give you the fruits. You need single male plant for several female plant, so that a single male plant can give the pollen grains to many female plants, so that fruits are formed. So in some times in papaya both the flowers are available, but in general male and female flowers are on different plants. Likewise in date palm also. So this is the case of dioecious species. So you know, I tried, still I will be continuing the sexual reproduction in plants. The same thing is happening in animals and in human beings also. That as I said, that what is the need of this reproduction? The need of reproduction is to produce the new generation, next generation. So if you are getting the new generation through asexual means, you are going to get the offspring true to the type of the parent plant. And in case of sexual reproduction, why it is happening? What is its significance? Because in this case, the new generation, the next generation, the offsprings, the progenies produced, they are all having different genotypes, different than the parents. And because in this case, the male and female gametes are fusing, and male is giving 50% genes and female is giving 50% genes, and both are coming to the offsprings. And then if in case of human beings, in case of animals, they are heterozygous in nature. So if male and female are heterozygous in nature, if it is giving birth to four children, all 4 children will be having different genotypes. But if male and female, as in case of many crop plants, male and female are homozygous in nature. Say for example, if I am taking a rice variety Malvi 105 and rice variety Swarna, if you are making Malvi 105 female, and if you are taking pollen grain from Swarna and putting the pollen grain in Malvi 105, whatever hundreds, thousands seeds you are getting, all will be having heterozygous nature of genetic makeup. And if you are growing them, but all the seeds will be giving you the similar plants in phenotype. Similar plants will be seen. So homogeneous, whole field will be seen homogeneous. If you are having the offspring from the 2 homozygous parents. If you are having, say for example, I have given just now, and if the parents are heterozygous in nature, like in human being, like in animal, like in maize also. If normal maize OPB, 2 different open pollinated variety of maize you are crossing, then the F1s, whatever seed in F1 generation you are getting next offspring, all the seeds are having different genotypes, all are different to each other, and once you are growing, all the field will be seen heterogeneous. So this is the beauty of understanding the sexual means of reproduction in plants. The same thing is applying in animals, in human beings. If you are trying to understand the concept, don't try to learn much. You try to learn learn the concept more. Then only you can apply the same principle in animals and human beings also. Otherwise, no, you cannot apply. You can, if you are clearing your concept here, you can understand and you can explain everywhere the sexual reproduction. So I will be coming a little more in this topic in next videos. Thanking you very much.